Home brothers, I want to discuss a special word which is in the Chinese language called Lao Wai. There is a very funny Wikipedia entry on the word, and there is an even funnier entry on Baidu in Chinese. And basically what Chinese are doing in the mainland, and in the mainland only, well, no. Okay, let's say in the mainland, and then anybody who's from the mainland, like mainlanders in United States or mainlanders in Europe, or they use this term Lǎowài, and it's according to the Cantonese in Hong Kong and the Taiwanese, it is a pejorative term, and you could see it in the dictionary. It says pejorative. Now, of course it's pejorative. There are three meanings to the word Lao, and Lao means number one, it means old. Number two, it means what could you say? It could be like sir. And then number three is it could mean always. Now, obviously in the word Lǎowài, you know, like a law, outside. You know, Wai means outside, or you know, foreign. The first two don't make any sense. The first one you say is old. Well, obviously they're not saying we're old. And the second one, sir, might apply to me or somebody middle-aged or older, but it wouldn't apply to kids. And Chinese, mainland Chinese, are calling kids Lǎowài, so they wouldn't call kids sir. So really you're left with one definition, which is always, and that makes a lot of sense considering that mainland China does not accept any foreigner as a citizen, and they will never give citizenship to any foreigner under any circumstances. There was even a Japanese woman who lived in Beijing for over 80 years, 80 years, paid 80 years of taxes, you know, owned a home, obviously, all these other things, and she was never given citizenship. And when she was 95 years old, they gave her honorary 10-year visa. 10-year visas are impossible to get. They're sort of like an award they give to people that don't want them. The Japanese lady was almost dead, and like the BASF CEO who comes to Nanjing, he doesn't want this visa because, you know, he's a German, he's got a better place to live, and he's a billionaire, so he wouldn't come to an industrial district in Nanjing to live. And so this always foreigner thing makes a lot of sense to me. That seems to be the translation. Now, interestingly, in the Wikipedia article, you know, Chinese have infiltrated, mainland Chinese have infiltrated Wikipedia, and they're covering it with mainland Communist Party propaganda, and they're saying that Lǎowài is a positive word, or, you know, there's no negative connotation. I'm just saying that's funny. So let's ask a random 10 foreigners here, or non-Chinese, do you like it when Chinese call you Lǎowài? And at least 9 out of 10 will say no. So this is got to be the real sticking point I have with mainland Chinese. You know, why are they, you know, not only lying, but they're pulling out the lie, they're stretching out the lie for years and years and years. They've stretched it out for 20 years now. They say Lǎowài to anybody that doesn't look like them or they think are strange, and they laugh at them on the street. And what I mean by laugh is they'll say like Lǎowài when they see the guy walking past them, and then they'll chuckle in sort of a Beavis and Butthead manner, that just the same laughed like that. And then obviously after that's done to you a few times, you think, it's kind of dumb with them, I don't like those guys. And in Baidu, the Chinese Google, they say Lao Wai is definitely not a negative term. I mean, if we said something like that in English to Chinese immigrants, or if we said something like that to them in Italian in Milan, what would they say? And so I'm really keen on this equal treatment thing. I'm just saying to mainland Chinese who are watching this, stop lying to us. Don't try to tell us that this is a good word. If it's a good word, then why do none of us like it? And we should know, shouldn't we? I've lived here 13 years and I've been called that for 13 years. And I should know if it's negative or positive, now shouldn't I? And so should anybody else who lives here who's not Chinese. And they're talking about Han Chinese. You have these so-called minorities that look Chinese, but they'll have like curly hair, or they'll have like, slightly brown eyes instead of black eyes. And they have to flatten their hair, straighten their hair out, and dye it black to pretend that they're Han. Otherwise, they constantly get made fun of. I mean, why don't we ask some of those people, like some of the Chinese-Russian mixes on the border, or some of the Uyghurs, ask them, what do you think about the word Lǎowài? I mean, they wouldn't say we don't like it. They'd pull out a gun. They'd pull out some stones. They'd go looking for your house and they smash your windows. So don't give me this bull crap. What is this? These mainland Chinese, they're getting this chutzpah, aren't they? And they're standing there pretending when everybody sees it in broad daylight, and they're going to sit there and lie their noses off, lie their ears off, lie like crazy, and all of us know it. And there's a point when you get caught lying that you should just shut up and say you're sorry and move on. But these mainlanders aren't doing that. They're persisting with this word Lǎowài, and I tell you, there's two very negative connotations to it. One is that they're saying you're always a foreigner, like you're not ever going to be included in this society. And number two, on a legal level, that means none of us are ever going to legally be able to immigrate. So if your Chinese is perfect, you buy a house, you even get married. I've heard of all different kinds of situations here. I've talked to the police. I even have a permit to process visas for foreigners here, so I should know what I'm talking about. I should say I'm a certified visa processor, and I've asked every year for many years at the police station and at the government and everybody who might know, and the answer is no. It's not that it's difficult to get citizenship in China, it's that it's impossible, it doesn't exist. And you also might notice that there are a lot of Africans and Koreans coming over into China who are refugees, and if they get sent back, they get a bullet in the head or get tortured, and the Pink Party has no concern for them whatsoever. They just send them straight back. So consider that. I mean, I think we should all start to become aware of this pink menace and start treating them the way they're treating us, and maybe, in a positive way. After we do that, they'll begin to understand that that's not the way you treat people. But right now, everybody just kind of pandering to the Chongs and saying, oh, you're awesome, everything's good. Even in the TED discussion about Ai Weiwei, the TED people were like, well, we don't mean this to be critical of the government. It's like, what are you talking about? I mean, he's so corrupt. How could you say that when you put up a man who was detained for 88 days, illegally, no paperwork, no trial, and he could have been tortured, and then you're saying, we don't mean to offend you. I'm just noticing a lot of people, they're talking like pussies. They're really being cowards in the face of these Chongs, these pinkos. So and I'm not going to put up with it. I mean, these people, these Chongs can call me Lǎowài all they want. I mean, I know it's a bad word, but I don't get angry about it because that's just the way it is. I mean, it reflects bad on them. If you keep doing that, then it just proves that you're rude. It doesn't prove that anybody else has a problem. Of course, and that's true for any other white guy that's walking down the street here. So, anyway, check it out. Check out this Lǎowài thing and tell me what you think. Brothers. Number one, it means old. Number two, it means what could you say? It could be like sir. And then number three is it could mean entry on Baidu in Chinese. And basically what Chinese are doing in the mainland, and in the mainland only, well, no. Okay, let's say in the mainland, and then anybody who's from the mainland, like mainlanders in United States or mainlanders in Europe, or they use this term Laowai, and it's according to the Cantonese in Hong Kong and the Taiwanese, it is a pejorative term, and you can see it in the dictionary. It says pejorative. Now, of course it's pejorative. There are three meanings to the word law, and law means, brothers, I want to discuss a special word which is in the Chinese language called Lao Wai. There is a very funny Wikipedia entry on the word, and there's an even funnier